fake
if you
notch
use
or whatever
if
people
you
want to
use
call it.
alpha, you need to actually use the 14 Pro to get used to the dynamic island. I hated it too at first, but now it's actually a useful tool that I like because it notifies me whenever my AirPods are running out of power. So, and besides, if you wait to upgrade to the 14 Pro Max instead of the 13 Pro Max, you would be using it differently, so that way you wouldn't have to go back to your stupid iPhone XS Max.
Good, it's still going to be cheaper.
Oh yeah, but I mean, your iPad.
Just to buy an iPhone and an iPad mini compared to all these foldable phones out there.
Stop mentioning that. The Apple Vision Pro strap is rumored not to ship with the headset.
Oh.
It's kind of a weird deal.
How much are they going to charge for that?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the iTunes Fanboy Podcast. In this episode, we have this is going to be a very special episode as we are full house with a guest this time for the first time since October. As always, I'm Teddy Maggart from the iTunes Fanboy.
I'm Tabby Cat.
I'm and I'm
And
Grant.
My name's Alpha DeWolf.
Did you hear me?
okay, Grant's audio is cutting out.
Networking problem.
Oh boy.
I'm connected to Wi-Fi.
Already
should
starting
we-
off with
should we cut
issues.
Should we cut
Oh,
the recording?
jeez.
Now I'll just cut it in the editing.
I don't-
Someone should probably
Yeah.
tell him that that his network is like unbelievably bad.
I turned off my.
Yeah, it just went down. Oh, so he's turning off his camera.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
All right, you're coming through much clearer now too.
All right. So, are you guys ready? Still seems like he's cutting in and out. Hello, Grant. All right, we are good. So,
Okay, he seems to be.
all
It
right,
seems to be
so
more
the
stable.
The
All
first
right.
bit of news is that you may notice a slight difference in the editing, just because this time is not actual, because we have an announcement to make, which is that Alpha is going to be taking a 3-week hiatus from TIFP, meaning that he will not be available for recording or editing, meaning that I'll be the editor of this episode. I'll try and make sure everything's in sync and everybody's wearing earbuds so there won't be an echo, but I apologize if the editing may not be as good as Alpha's or may not be the same, but I'll try my best to do everything like how Alpha does it, even the intro with the hype clips.
Oh yeah, I gotta send
thank
you
you.
the
I was gonna
audio
ask.
files for the music and such too. But
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna be going on vacation for a little bit.
Podcast.
I can say so. For the first week, I'm heading to the lake house in Petoskey. From there, I have there's a summer camp that I'm going to counsel and play music for. So I'm going to need some more time off to take care of that as well. So
So this is effectively Alpha's
yeah,
going away
I'll
party.
be on vacation for a few weeks.
Yeah, though we also
For
have,
only,
have
what,
a
3
special
weeks?
guest here to celebrate that with us. So, without further ado, we should get started with the first actual bit of news, which is that Apple is prioritizing the iPhone 15 Pro assembly over the standard 15 assembly, based on last year with the shortage of iPhone 14 Pros because people want more Pros than standard models.
I think that
Probably because the standard
Yeah,
models they're not as good as they used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, the standard iPhone.
this year.
Basically, now you're buying.
yeah, they kind of bombed the standard models this year.
Yeah, the problem is that the standard iPhone 15 models. Oh,
See, what I would say. Sorry. What I would say is the iPhone 12 was very comparable to the 12 Pro. I knew like nobody who bought a 12 Pro except for like myself and a few other people compared to the 12 because the 12 was that good. Same design, same size, same display, literally the same exact display assembly. You can swap a 12 and a 12 Pro screen. The only difference was
Whoa.
an extra camera
Yeah.
and stainless steel sides.
yeah, the 12.
Nice.
Yeah, the iPhone 12 was so good, and even the 13 was still a very good phone. But the 14 is just basically a 13 Pro, and the 15 is just going to basically be a 14 Pro, which is really sad to see because at this point Apple might as well just keep, as I explained in a video, Apple might as well just keep selling the iPhone 14 Pro for another year, and they might as well keep selling 13 Pro now.
See, what I would say is the 13 was the only device that wasn't really comparable, or the first non-Pro phone that wasn't comparable because you see the 13 Pro had ProMotion, way better cameras,
Yeah.
all that, but the 13 was, it was a nice phone, don't get me wrong, but the fact that the 14 and the 13 both share the same processor is just
Oh, I
stupid.
totally agree. This is
Should've
partly why I feel okay not upgrading to the iPhone 15 Pro this year. Because I'll basically be having the same phone even though with my 14 Pro as a lot of people that buy standard phones. So even though I won't have the latest Pro iPhone anymore, that won't really matter.
That makes sense.
Even though I will miss being able to say that I have a better phone than everybody else. I'm gonna miss that. But I have to save up for a new MacBook, so...
That's a good thing.
Alright. The next bit...
Yeah, I'd say the biggest issue
I
with
agree.
the 14s that came out was just the price. They bombed it. They changed way too little, and yet it got a price increase. It did not deserve that price increase, and it definitely showed.
technically
So,
didn't get a
why did
price-
everybody buy
it
all the
didn't get a
pros
price
this year? It's
increase,
because the
though.
regular series wasn't a good enough deal.
Yeah.
It didn't make
I'm-
sense to buy it.
I'm sure the 13 is still selling better than
No,
the
Apple
14.
discontinued
Technically, yeah, it
I'm
did.
sure the
the
people are
13 mini, so there was no 14 mini, so the
Oh, yeah,
14
it
is the
is.
same price as the 13, so Apple
They
didn't do a
discontinued
price
the
hike.
13 mini? They're not selling the 13
No,
mini
they
anymore?
are. Well, I meant they didn't make a 14 mini. Yeah, Apple still sells the 13 mini.
Yeah.
I know people who still buy them today,
I would
even.
buy a 13 mini right now. Kind of seems like a bad.
Yeah, because it's
buy
about
one.
to get
Yeah.
cheap. They're about to get cheaper with the release of the iPhone 15 in a couple of months.
I mean, plus the phone itself, it's a fun phone, but it's not, practical
Yeah.
phone. It's not about battery life really. It's just really, it comes down to the phone is too small to really be not used, but it's too small to be, somebody's main phone for a long time
Yeah.
as, sole power device, right? But I'm sure some people will say, oh, not everybody.
Yeah,
needs
I'm okay
a
with the
screen,
13
right?
mini
Yeah,
screen
exactly,
size,
that's-
but
It's a nice screen size, but it gets tiring after
That's
like
why-
2 weeks of usage. I used one.
I use
for
my
a long
iPhone 8
time.
Plus. I used my iPhone 8 Plus for for a year and 9 months, which had only a 1/10 of an inch bigger screen, and I find myself back then picking my phone up a lot less, and using my iPad a lot more, just because I didn't. even my phone wasn't that enjoyable to use, but it still felt like a brick. But now I'm more willing to get out my phone for more stuff.
Yeah, my coworker is a 13 mini user, and so today we had to pull out our phones to do some calculations, and it was just so interesting to see the stark contrast of my work phone is my 13 Pro Max, so I pull out my 13 Pro Max, and then we held it right up next to his 13 mini to see the size difference. It was so weird. He's like, how do you manage a phone that big? It doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, I'm trying to think how he manages a phone that small.
Well,
Wow.
His hands are bigger than mine. So, yeah, it really confuses me, but there is a fan base out there
I mean, they're
who
nice phones, don't get
absolutely
me wrong,
prefer
but-
smaller phones.
See, I don't like the big phones. That's just me, but I'm not gonna, go for the smallest phone size available. I'll go for the middle.
exactly. That's why I hate how the iPhone 16 Pro and 16 Pro Max are going to have potentially larger displays, being 6.3 inches and 6.9 inches.
Oh, wow.
That's 6.9 inches is way too big.
Ooh, I'd love that.
It's
so
not really about
much.
that. It's like, why are they making the smallest iPhone bigger? That kind of doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense when they made the 12 6.1. It doesn't make sense now, but the Pro Max I can see, but the Pro, come on, just leave it be.
Yeah, people don't like the biggest phone.
Yeah, I do kind of miss the 5.8-inch size Pro.
I kind of miss that too, but
Yeah, that one
granted,
was
I
good.
never used one back when it was current, but...
Yeah, remember the 10S and the 11 Pro?
Yeah, remember these phones?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a good screen size.
I mean, I had a 10 and an 11 Pro, and they were
Coming from someone who buys the biggest phone ever.
very nice. Display on the 11 Pro was great, color accurate for the most part. Responsive, durable. It was pretty. That phone was all that a phone could be in 2019. I could say the same thing about the 14 Pro, but it's like it's not the same, but it's still a
Yeah.
nice phone.
Well,
14 Pro's probably. I've had a better experience with the 14 Pro in the last few months. It's actually a phone that I could recommend somebody go out and
yeah, I
buy
like
now.
my 14 Pro.
Yeah, it only took them 9 months of mediocre software updates to get a beta better than like an actual software
Yeah.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wish they didn't switch to that island
I-
thing,
I-
that fake notch or whatever
if
people
you
wanna
used
call it.
Alpha, you need to actually use the 14 Pro to get used to the dynamic island. I hated it too at first, but now it's actually a useful tool that I like because it notifies me whenever my AirPods are running out of power. So, and besides, if you wait to upgrade
I
to
just
the
like it 'cause
14
it's-
Pro Max instead of the 13 Pro Max, you would be using it differently, so that way you wouldn't have to go back to your stupid iPhone XS Max.
But my 13 Pro Max literally does the same thing. It's just a
Nope,
small
the
little
dynamic
bubble that
island
pops,
has more
drops down from the
functions,
notch.
see? That's the whole. There's a reason why Apple rebranded it.
I'd never use those functions though. That's not how I control
Alpha,
media. That's
you're
not how I
Alpha, you don't have a
quickly
phone with
access
dynamic
stuff like
island,
that.
yeah.
Like, I'm looking how they're advertising you're supposed to use this thing. I
had
wouldn't
to
use
actually
it that
go
way.
looking, too, for ways, but You would like
Like,
the,
what are some
feature
use cases that
notifies
you
when
think
your
I would
AirPods
use?
are running out of power.
That's a pretty cool feature.
I'm never near my phone actually when my
Well, if
AirPods
you
become
get-
low on
if your
battery.
AirPods,
In fact, what really notifies me all the time is the sound, the chime.
well,
So,
well, what about looking at me?
yeah, I don't go off of screen notifications to tell me
What
that.
about if you want to see a brief little preview of your music to control it that way? You can do that with the dynamic island. I know you can do that, Alpha,
is
but
right.
you're technically using
I
it
scroll down
differently,
notifications.
Which is why you should have
I
waited
scroll
to
down
buy a
notifications,
14
it's
Pro
just
Max.
quicker.
Sure, the control.
But that's
I
quicker.
don't know. I've never actually.
Like, don't you have to hold the pill in order to see it?
Okay, it's a good way.
Don't you have to just hold the pill to see it? Swipe is quicker.
It's muscle
You
memory
kinda
is
hold
good
it, but it's like-
exercise.
That to me, that's
Like-
muscle memory.
It is.
You don't have to hold it that long. It's only like
It's only like a couple seconds.
Yeah, still, my muscle memory is swipe down from notifications. A swipe is way faster than press and hold.
depends on if you're in an app that will mess up. Because some
So-
apps that I've saw have had problems whenever you go to notification slider. Like there's just a few apps out there that I don't know about you guys, but a few apps that I use that just kind of don't like whenever the user
Oh,
goes
I
to the
understand
notification or
that.
control center.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's like a universal problem, but yeah, it's not the biggest thing, but just
Yeah, I've used a
a
handful of
little bit
them.
convenience that I like. It's helpful. It's not a reason to buy the phone, but
Yeah.
it's helpful. It's
In the
Nice.
14 Pro, well, no, we're not arguing about what. No, I'm not going to argue with Alpha right now about why you should have bought a 14 Pro Max. But we should cover the next bit. We should cover the next bit of news. However, 'cause we have a
I'm
lot
glad
of
I
news,
didn't.
Which is that
Not
the
gonna lie.
iPhone 15's green is going to look like the iPhone 11 green.
I'm not buying that. I don't want that.
I personally like that green. It'll look like the standard 11's green,
The mint
Alpha,
green or
not
the
the
midnight?
not midnight green, that vomit color. It'll look like the better green.
I think it looks
Okay,
okay.
well the standard color's fine.
No, they're not going to make a
Yeah.
green
You
Pro
know what they're gonna do
iPhone.
with the pros, right?
The special color this year will be product red.
Oh, jeez.
The minty green does.
I do like
Yeah.
minty green, but no.
I'd either do gold or black when I get the 15 Pro.
If I were to get a 15 Pro, I would
Well,
get
I don't
the
know when I'd be able to get it
red.
at launch. Because I have money dedicated towards the 15 Pro that I didn't pull out when I was using the MacBook. I've been saving for that since April, late April. So I'm pretty sure I have enough, unless they jack the price up, because I'm going to trade my iPhone, so I don't have to worry about that too much. I just hope that they follow the same release schedule.
They probably will.
Hmm.
There's been no rumors suggesting
last year.
against that.
Because I'd rather than
Yeah.
do it September 16th or whatever, September 15th it will be this year, I think, rather than like the 23rd. Because I like when they release it slightly
So do
early.
I.
It's just.
That's
it's
why I
easier
wish
when
Apple
they're-
still released iPhones in June.
I'm just
It'll
nervous
only
about the
be
price
like-
tag of that thing.
Yeah, hopefully it's like.
The price tag will only go up by at
'Cause I'm
most by a
planning to-
little over $300, Alpha. That's the biggest price hike we've gotten on an iPhone.
$300.
Yeah, it's the price hike from the iPhone 7 Plus to the iPhone 10 is $330.
Yeah.
What? So you're saying the 15 Pro is gonna be?
I'm not saying that will be,
$1,300?
but I'm saying that but I'm telling Alpha that might be all that will be at the worst case scenario based on Apple's history. That'll probably just be an additional $100 price point.
I mean,
Um,
so the difference between.
I'm actually worried
the
it might be
7
more.
to the 10.
Yeah.
I've
So
really learned how
the
expensive
7 to the
titanium
10
really
It's
is.
not comparable because that was the start of the Pro iPhones, and you had the 8 and the 8 Plus as the 7 Plus upgrade, and then the 10 was more of, if you think of it like this, right? The iPhone 13's not $999. That's what, $799, $699, or the 14, I guess. But the Pro, you know, if you want to go for that, you know, not a lot of people are going to upgrade from like a 12 to a 13 or a 14 Pro. They're going to go from like a 12 to a 14.
That makes
At least from what I saw.
Yeah.
Though I haven't seen a lot of people upgrade from their iPhone 12s yet, though. Again, the only phones I see out.
I don't
A
know.
lot of people still have them.
Yeah, my aunt has an iPhone, still has her iPhone 12, and she's not going to upgrade anytime soon.
It's different in my area.
Mine got rid of
I
hers.
mean, traded
Traded it for a
right now,
14.
there's no reason.
Not too sure how she likes
There's
it.
not
'Cause she
really
said
a
she has had a
reason to
buggy
sit with
experience.
the
Exactly.
phone right now because, you know, because you can sit there and you can trade in like an iPhone like 11 and get like $800 depending on what carrier you're on. It's like, just, you know, the design on the 11 might have been more rounded and cooler, but it's like, it's not worth keeping. something like
Exactly,
that,
it's-
in my opinion.
And
I don't mean this towards Alpha. I'm more thinking about another dude that I know who does the same thing. Or a few people that I
yeah,
know.
there's a lot of people I know that stick to their old phones.
You know, I understand not wanting to spend the money to upgrade, but like just sitting on an old phone for no reason, that's kind of
Yeah, it's
different,
pretty-
I'd say.
Yeah, sitting on an old phone for no reason is pretty. Yeah, I know you have your reasons, Alpha, but
Well, I have my
the
reasons for
iPhone
sitting
10s
on
Max
this one.
is supposedly an obsolete, horrible smartphone. But I've never used a 10s Max before,
Well, I mean,
so
eventually.
I can't say.
I mean, you know, eventually the 10s Max is.
I'm not gonna bite my tongue.
So
that
yeah,
much.
bite your tongue. You don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever. Okay, well, changing the.
This thing's.
Changing the,
I'm gonna
uh,
be
changing
so
my,
sad
Mac
when this thing
studio
loses
right now,
software
sure.
support.
Or did you just update it?
Yeah, hopefully
Exciting.
it's gonna fix the problems I've had with it. If not,
Exciting.
I'm gonna be really pissed. I'll just say that straightforward because my backup works just fine. The same exact backup works just fine on my MacBook, but not this thing. Come on.
Alrighty.
How is there already another software update available?
Yeah, you did.
Maybe there is a hardware
Oh,
issue
apparently
because you
my-
had it randomly
Apparently
restart
my
on you
studio display
once.
has a 644 megabyte update. I've heard of these things bricking with this update. I'm gonna try it. If it
What?
bricks, then well, then I'm gonna have to deal with Apple support again.
They should.
If they don't, then I'm gonna be pissed.
That Apple should cover. Yeah. If a product bricks due to an update,
You know what actually
That's-
happened to me years
that's
ago
on
with the
Apple.
Nintendo Wii U
What?
and the 360, both on Christmas like 2012 and 2013. I tried updating them and they bricked. Got them brand new for Christmas and they just bricked the same day.
Ooh. One of my
Yeah.
That really.
yikes.
I was not happy being like, however old I was not that happy that my brand new Wii U and my Xbox 360 just kind of broke.
somebody I know got an iPad for Christmas years ago and cracked it on the same day he got it.
Oh.
Oh, nice. Anyways, Alpha, you said you cracked your iPad. Is there a story behind that?
Just go to the last episode of
Yep.
TIFP.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, really?
It happened live on the podcast, actually. Yeah, so I was trying to demo something and I accidentally dropped my iPhone on my iPad and it cracked the screen.
Is there a time code on that?
Huh? Oh, time code.
Oh my god, you're kidding me.
I wouldn't remember, unfortunately.
Hold up.
It's one of the hype moments. In one of the hype moments, I included the clip where I dropped my phone on the iPad.
Of course it did.
So.
It hasn't happened in damn near 2 months.
Okay, yeah, you should take that into Apple, because that is not performing up to snuff.
3 weeks.
Well, I had to get
84
one of my
days.
Apple devices fixed
Had to
today.
get,
Fixed the just recently too, but that is a topic for later. However, a topic for now is that the iPhone 15 and the 15 Pro are
pretty
going
sure
to
I know
have
what those
battery
are.
size increases from depending on the model from 11 to 15% size increases.
Okay. Are we gonna get fast charging so we can charge these things up in
I
less than
don't-
3 hours?
That's not rumored yet.
Okay, well then, battery doesn't mean nothing if it doesn't.
That's
charge.
exactly true, especially when the longer battery life is just going to keep people's TikTok addictions fueled. Well,
So
to be fair, now many people are leaving TikTok,
That's
so
very stupid.
Yeah. I'm still finding myself
The
needing
iPhone
fast charging
14
less and
Pro
less.
apparently has like 28-watt charging, but like, come on, it still takes 2 hours to charge from 0 to 100 because of the 80% throttling. Okay, my Mac Studio display. This is kind of cool. Okay, the Studio display. I have 2 monitors. My monitor on the left says, "The screen may turn off for a few minutes during this update. Do not disconnect or power off your Apple Studio display." That's a Dell monitor on the left, Goodwill one. And the Studio display just has 3 dots and it says, "Do not unplug your display while it's updating. This may take a few minutes." So they're using both my monitors like in actual like really cool.
that is cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
Okay, that is kind of cool, but
Yeah,
that would make me a little worried because I'm like, okay, what monitor were they messing with?
it says do not disconnect or power
Must
off
be
your Apple
working.
Studio display on my like cheap Dell.
Must be working through your Mac.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely. But another funny thing is I'm not using the Apple Thunderbolt cable anymore. That broke. But that was my fault, to be fair. I was trying to disconnect it and it kind of bent, so
Oh.
I'm using a third-party cable, like $7 on Amazon. Works just as well, if not
Oops.
better. Yeah.
Really? Is it powering the full 4.5 or
It's a nice
5K,
cable.
whatever
It's
the
really
resolution
nice.
is?
Rated. It's even got an L-angle connector. And I have one upstairs. This one is like half a foot. The one upstairs is like 6 feet. I use that with my iPad.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're nice. But anyways, Ethernet.
Yeah, meanwhile, I got 250 feet of cabling in here.
Really?
Again?
Somebody's getting a networking upgrade. Yeah, so finally, my grandparents came to town. My grandpa's a computer nerd and such, so I bought the supplies to. We're going to redo the way the internet works in this house. We're going to wire up a bunch of Ethernet points throughout the house, and one of those points, my airport router is getting connected to that, so I'll finally actually have decent connectivity in here now. The internet service here is still going to suck because that's all up to our ISP, and of course you can't get any good ISP out in the middle of nowhere. But at least finally, the Wi-Fi is no longer going to be extremely congested, and there's no complaints. Oh,
Wait a
hey,
minute.
are you
Are
uploading
trying to imitate
anything?
me?
Oh, it'll be so nice. Because I swear all of our devices are on Wi-Fi, and yeah, I swear all of our devices are on Wi-Fi, and it's just, the network is just way too congested, so we're
relief.
finally getting that issue taken care of.
Anyways, have you guys heard?
So, Yeah. Don't know when that's going to happen because I'm leaving Sunday,
Heard about the
and
MFI certification?
this week is going to be very
Yeah,
busy.
we talked about it before on the show.
So, everybody's worried about that, but the iPad Pro has USB-C. All the iPads have USB-C, and there's no problems there. So, why are people freaking out? They're just going to use the same system as the
Yeah.
iPad.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, iPad system works fine. I mean, I can charge with whatever cable I want. Full fast charging on my third-party cable, not MFI certified or anything. It's just a cable from Amazon. Now, with that said, it's not a cheap cable. It's not like some gas station crap. It's a high-quality third-party cable. But still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only way I think people would be worried is if Apple decides to use a different protocol other than USB, but to me that makes no sense because then that basically eliminates every single accessory on the planet except for the new MFI certified stuff. Because if Apple were to do that, then I can't use Apple CarPlay anymore.
Union, which is, we all know,
Because
is
my card
a basic,
won't be able to read it.
how do I put this? A dictatorship at this point. It's trying to control the whole world.
They're just a bunch of bullies. They're
Yeah,
just a
they
bunch of
are.
bullies.
They don't see.
They're saying this is for environmental purposes.
Well,
Yeah.
Philips, yeah, and they
And
used to have
their
Nokia,
only
but
tech giant there has
Nokia
already
and
been
Philips
dying,
are
isn't it?
both dead.
Philips Hue is definitely not dead. I'd say.
Oh, well, the actual company doesn't own Philips just licenses out their brand now. Philips Hue is owned by a separate company now.
It's funky, but yeah. I mean, people are freaking out over this
know.
for no reason. USB-C is gonna be fine. I still think they're gonna remove the port entirely myself. But they're saying this is for environmental purposes. Do they? Well, do they not understand?
I don't see the advantage to doing that though.
Most like cables out in the world are
Yeah.
lightning cables. Because you gotta understand, right? There is, every gas station you go to, tons of lightning cables. Best Buy, all these places sell all these lightning cables. And telling Apple that they have to, remove it from the AirPods, the Magic accessories, all this crap, right? Even the game controllers in the Apple Store that use Lightning are going to have to switch. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe, but
I wonder if
they
they
would
could
have
just
to cut
recycle
out-
those
They'll
cables.
basically have
though.
to get rid of all the. Well, first of all, lightning cables will still be needed for quite a while, as similar to a 30-pin transition. I mean, Apple even still makes 30-pin cables to this day.
yeah, I want to buy
I
some.
want to buy a
to be honest.
30-pin cable, too, brand new, but I have a bunch of other ones that work fine.
True.
It's like $20.
Yeah, it's
not
actually a
that
really
bad,
good
I'd say.
deal.
For a brand new cable. I bought one in 2016.
Oh yes, that's stupid. Luckily, I've gotten so
Compared
many of
to
those
$80 for a
Macs over the
MagSafe
years
1
that I
charger.
basically have an infinite supply.
I find them in recycling centers. Never found one with a computer. Just kind of find them on their own. I just take them if they look like they're decent. Did you sell the
I just realized I don't have any MagSafe 1 devices anymore.
I know.
Yep, the black book's been sold.
Yeah.
Most annoying buyer ever. Just would not leave me alone. Can't.
Huh?
Doesn't know the difference between iCloud and desktop.
What's he like saying?
The buyer does not know the difference between iCloud and the desktop.
Buying this stuff.
He told me that evidently he bought it because he wants to experiment around with GarageBand. Like, Oh, this was not the one to buy, but okay.
Man, that's so.
He'll have to get an
Good
old
luck.
iLife disc.
It's not mine anymore.
He'll have to get an old iLife disc.
I have no clue. Yeah, I don't know what his thinking was there in that regard, but yeah, the black book's been
You
sold.
should
My
sell your
sister
cables
bought my
lower
old
for
MacBook
big
Pro,
money.
and so I am now out of MagSafe 1 devices.
Oh, well.
I don't have it. I've only had one cable, and it's with my
Alright.
sister.
Well, moving on to our next bit of news. Apple is switching the positions of the ultra-wide and the telephoto lenses on the iPhone 15 Pro Max to fit the periscope lens. I think they're just going to orient it in some miniature way. Or
I'm
not
kind of
so
curious how they're
miniature
going to
way
orient it.
to focus on the camera on the Pro Max, but of course I'm sure it will cause the camera bump size increase. It's already rumored to expand.
It
Place your bets. That camera bump is expanding.
No way it isn't.
Yes, that is so crazy.
It's crazy. There's got to be a point where someone at Apple's got to be like, okay, this is crazy.
I think Apple should have an option where you can
this
get
is
a slightly
insane. I
worse
think we
camera,
need to dial it back a
that
tad
still
or
takes
something.
Good photos, even on the Pro iPhones without the big camera bump.
Oh, they're just going to tell you to buy the regular series.
Oh. As Apple could still modify even on the Pro models with the A17 chip to have artificial or to have image processing software, so that way it can look very good. So that way the photos can look almost as good. But yes, Apple needs to decrease the camera bump. My iPhone 11 Pro Maxes should not have tiny camera bumps.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, that's another reason why
The 14 Pro
this
still
phone's
takes
better
way
than
better
the iPhone
photos.
14 Pro Max.
I can tell a difference between it and my 11 Pro Max, so I know there's going to be a difference between it and the 10s Max.
Yeah, I've noticed the difference too, but when video recording, I haven't seen
I
much
actually
of a
can
difference.
see a difference in the video recording just a little bit. It's not as big. It's not the most it's not as drastic of a change as when I upgraded to my iPhone 11 Pro Max from my 8 Plus, but I can definitely tell the difference.
I put myself through a rather strange test a few months ago. I was watching a video. Someone was recording outside, doing some tests, and the camera quality. I'm like, wow, this is like really, really good. I thought they were on being a YouTuber and having all sorts of expensive stuff. I thought, okay, he's got to be using either the 13 Pro at the oldest or the new 14 Pro. That's what I thought he was using.
You can get.
It was a
you can
10s
get some
Max.
pretty good shots of. You can edit them to make them nicer.
I saw it in the
shots of
reflection.
those to make them nicer.
That wasn't edited. That was not edited footage. It was just bright sunlight and such. Like, most of the time when you're out in bright daylight, you don't want to do that much editing, especially because then you can really screw some stuff up. But just, jeez, I thought he had like the latest iPhone and such,
can
but
actually
just
tell.
saw the reflection in a window.
Even
I'm like,
my iPhone 8 Plus takes
that's a XS Max?
Actually,
Dang!
my iPhone 8 Plus can take some pretty comparable shots. to
Yeah,
the
these
iPhone
things are
14
seriously a
Pro,
little
so
underrated
when
today.
in bright sunlight, so I can understand that. It's just primarily when in indoors that generally doesn't do as well. But the 8 Plus is an obsolete smartphone now anyway, so...
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, I've noticed the same indoors. I still have to do some corrections. But, I mean, jeez, I just did not expect the footage from a XS Max like that to look that good. I was completely blown away.
Alright, well, there's a new rumor going around at the... There's a new rumor floating around at the iPhone 15.
And the camera bump didn't even have to be
iPhone
that
15s are
large.
getting wireless chip upgrades from the U1 chip to the U2 chip for the first time since the iPhone 11 series.
U1 chip is kind of
Yeah, I
cool,
like it.
It's a good change.
even if it's stupid and doesn't work right.
Sam Cole.
Yeah, not gonna
Oh,
lie,
Alpha
that is one
admit-
thing that I do
did
miss
Alpha
about the
just
13
admit
Pro
that
Max.
10s Max is obsolete.
No
It's
way.
not
Yeah,
obsolete.
That
it's just
that thing
lacking.
was useful.
Well, you sort of admitted that there's a thing that you miss
I
with
mean-
your 13 Pro Max.
No. No, I
What about
didn't. I didn't say it was obsolete. I said
What
it did
about
one
ProMotion?
thing better.
And the telephone.
I just said it did
lens.
one thing better. That doesn't mean it's obsolete.
The 10s Max has telephone.
Or
it
no,
does
the
have
wide
wide
angle.
but
Excuse me. Saying I need to learn my terms.
I don't like the 10s Max, but I will, say. I think the phones are garbage, but I will.
I don't
say,
use the wide angle that often,
Alright.
though.
Fine, the 10s Max isn't
Saying that's
obsolete.
obsolete is also saying, all these.
Maybe I should go a little easier on Alpha.
I mean, the phones themselves are not that good, but they're not obsolete. That's the funny part, Or that's the truthful part, I
That
guess.
is true. If your 10s Max works, then it. You know.
I don't know what you guys keep meaning by they're not that good. It's perfectly fine.
iPhone 10s Max is not.
Because look, I can let me say this, right? I can understand you liking the phone and using it, right? That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. The only thing that I've really had a problem with is going and saying, yeah, these phones are perfect, because, one good unit, a few good units, right? There's so many out there that are just not good. And you can say, sure, you've had a few family members who've had good ones, you yourself have had a good one, or have had a good one, but, overall, there are more of them that are having problems than something like the same ratio on an iPhone 10 or an 11. So, the phones, while I might not really care like I did about a year ago, because all these kids on Twitter or Instagram, whatever, don't exactly understand, how phones work, they're not good phones, but, when they were new, I could understand buying one, right? And I can understand keeping and using one because, nostalgic, you like the design, you like the phone itself, right? But all that I'm trying to say is the phones really aren't that good, like they're problematic, especially the 10s.
No, I wouldn't recommend anyone buy this new, but I don't see a reason why you can't
myself,
use this until,
but I
say,
understand it's
software
your phone,
support
your
goes on
kids,
it or something like that.
If you want to use that, go ahead. That's fine by me. I don't see a problem with that. I myself just don't like them. So that's just my thoughts. If you want to use it,
So would I.
If
So do
there's-
I.
I just wish they'd bring
Okay,
something
Alpha,
like this
that's
back,
fair.
but
if
with
there's an
updated
SE
technologies
fourth
like
gen
120
that had the same
hertz and
design, or an
such
SE4
like that.
Plus with the same design as the XS Max, with a better camera and maybe I don't know, smaller notch or something. Would you buy that? With like an A15, A16
I might
processor?
too.
Actually, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I would totally buy that. Because so far, my biggest reason for holding on to this that really matters to me is really the design. Everything else is, yeah, it's not the latest gen stuff, but it all functions just fine to the point where I'm not having an issue with it.
Question.
But that's a lot of my issues with the latest iPhones that keep coming out. The square edges, I hate it. I despise it. The camera bumps are hideous. I still want Apple to revert back to this right
I'm
here.
just curious.
And this is the biggest reason why I keep sticking with it.
Settings, I'm just curious.
Oh, what?
Because
Oh, I haven't checked in a while.
83 when I
Let me see.
yeah, they seem to get stuck at 83. My watch is at 83. It's been at 83 for
Yeah, my Apple
83%.
Watch Series 7 is
maybe a
stuck
minute and a
at
half.
is at 97% health. The last I checked, it just dropped from 100.
Hmm.
But yep, it's at 97.
Yeah, this may be at 83% original capacity, but
Yeah, it's not actually.
honestly, I keep plugging it in at like high 70s percentage
and it's
Some
at,
people just
every
use their
night.
phone
and
too
it's
much,
at
that's
third,
all I can say.
and it's at. I can somewhat tolerate
So-
that battery, and it's at 30% health. So
My phone's at 14% right now, and I've been using it heavily for recording all day. So, like, I mean,
fair enough. Yeah, the video recording is the most demanding thing you can ask your phone to do.
yeah. So,
So-
it was down.
Yeah, it makes sense that you drained it that low.
20. I had to charge it twice yesterday, but I was using it for CarPlay a lot yesterday.
Yeah, I suppose another thing that helps me put my phone back on the charger at 70%, it's because every time I get in my car now, I love CarPlay so much. I've never understood it before I
It's a
got
reason
it,
to
but
buy an
I've always
iPhone.
wanted it just because, well, I'm an Apple fan and such. But now I understand why there are even so many Tesla people that want CarPlay in their cars.
It's a reason to buy an iPhone in itself. If I ever went to
It's
Android,
so
I'd have to
good.
carry an iPhone because of that.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't understand why you'd want that over your car's regular infotainment system first, because for the most part, all you have to do is Bluetooth your phone over and you got access to your car's phone app and the music app. And, like, GM's infotainment system, it's fine. It's not really bad or anything. It's just fine. It's usable. But in terms of getting full functionality of using your phone while you're still driving and such, CarPlay does it better.
Probably have.
So
Another
much
thing
better.
Like, is you can enter in like the route information before you go. You can do it in advance, and it's seamless. You know, just plug it in, it's all there. You know, or connect it up, whatever.
Yeah, it's a little too seamless if I'm being honest. One annoying thing that I've discovered is every time I pull up the map, it instantly tries to navigate me to the same place I go on my schedule. And yet, I don't need directions there
Yeah, it always tries to take me.
because I know how to get there.
Pretty annoying.
It always
So I'm
tries to
always
take me
dismissing it every
to
single
different
time I pull up the map.
No!
It's annoying. Yeah, that was weird. Sometimes I leave my house, like I'll drive a quarter mile away, then all of a sudden it says, "Here's how you get home."
How
I'm
could
like,
you possibly get lost?
heck?
I'm at the quick trip. I can't find my way home.
But But yeah, I only have a few complaints with CarPlay, and it's all related to Apple Maps. I've discovered. Where's satellite view in Apple Maps?
Isn't it
Well, I don't
outdated
think
in
about
your
that.
area anyway?
Where's satellite view? Actually, they
Oh, yeah.
recently updated it
Well,
to
it's still
imagery of this
outdated.
area from 2 years ago.
Looks like you can turn on satellite view on the app. I don't know that on CarPlay. So
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it on the iPhone's app, but you
It is
can't
really
project
stupid.
satellite view onto the car's display. I don't know why. You can with Google Maps, but you can't do Apple Maps that way. And then the other thing,
Oh, that should have
why
that should
is
be an all-Mac
pinch to
feature.
zoom not a thing in Apple Maps on CarPlay? Yeah, their current method where you have to actually in order to even move around the map, you have to push a button on display first in order to let you move around the
They're
map. And
probably
you got to
gonna
use these
integrate
arrow
non-touch
keys to
screen
do that
cards
too.
into
Like,
that as well.
I'm sorry.
But I
What?
do agree that's very stupid.
Okay, fair, but like still let me
Apple
drag
can
the
still
map
drag
around with my
those.
finger too for vehicles that have a touchscreen. That and the vehicles that don't have touchscreens, they've been in the process of ditching their non-touchscreen methods. Everyone's basically gone in favor of it, except Mazda. What the heck, Mazda? Seriously? But yeah, that's one thing about CarPlay that just confuses me. Why is Apple Maps this weird to work with?
Our last iPhone 15.
Other than that,
remarked,
zero
which
complaints.
is that it's
I love
going to
CarPlay so
support
much.
the QI2 standard of wireless charging, meaning that on all wireless chargers that support QI2, you'll be able to charge up to 15 watts wirelessly with an iPhone 15.
So you can charge up to what we could 10 years ago with an iPad charger. Now wirelessly. That's cool, I guess. Even though we had 15-watt charging 10 years ago, I'm pretty sure.
You
Thought you
can't
could charge faster with
Apple
Qi1
puts
anyways.
iPhones have limited. iPhones.
What's
with the
Qi1's
iOS
theoretical
The
maximum?
iOS power system regulates it to 7.5 watts. I know QI1
stupid,
can
yeah.
Qi1 can go way further. That's
That can't be the
MagSafe
case.
only MagSafe
There's no
chargers
MagSafe
go up.
So then, how does this thing produce 15 watts for MagSafe iPhones? It's not Qi 2.
MagSafe is special. MagSafe is a special exception.
Yeah, but still, it's using Qi 1 technology.
That is actually weird. Qi 2 is basically going to be MagSafe though, so
That is weird. Wow, I guess so many smartphone manufacturers really violate that maximum speed. Yet 7.5 watts is actually appears to be a lot of the standard. Oh, wait, hold on. This is still iPhone stuff. What? Okay, can you show me non-iPhone for Android? Let's see.
I guess nobody cares about Android.
This is still
anymore.
Apple stuff.
Over.
What?
Oh yeah, I guess one thing that I can say is I recently got a Galaxy Fold or Z Fold, and it was a very good price on eBay. That's why I got it. $150. That's not half bad.
I saw that.
I can understand why people like that phone. I really can. It is a really, really solid phone. Yeah, I had to get the display replaced, but one of my friends dealt with that.
$150?
I paid $150.
It really.
Oh no, that's no, they sell for like
That thing
600
lost so
still.
much value.
But I just kind of got a good price on mine. There's a bunch of problems that the dude didn't really say about it. Huh?
I still don't understand why you would buy that.
You know,
I still don't know
the flip
what
phones I
the
could-
benefit of a folding phone is
having
compared to just
having
owning a
what is it,
phone and a
display
separate
in your
tablet.
pocket, it was really cool being able to just take that out in the middle.
Yeah,
of the night.
Tapping made a whole video
Like,
about.
I don't like big
Tapping
phone
made
screens.
a whole video about why folding
I don't
phones
like
are
big
cool.
phone screens, right? I don't like big phone screens, but this is cool. You know, this is the only time, because the aspect ratio too. Multitasking on this, it's so
Yeah, a big screen. Having a big screen in your pocket is admittedly cool.
Yeah, but you could fit an iPad mini in your pocket as well too, and it's still going to be cheaper.
Well, yeah, but I mean, your iPad
Just
mini
to
would-
buy an iPhone and an
Well, you're not gonna
iPad
wanna
mini
take the iPad
compared
mini,
to
like,
all
plus the
these
cover
foldable
display.
Or
phones
sell.
out there. Because every single time I hear someone announce it, the price doesn't come
Depends on
down.
how much you get it, because I'm not going to pay $2,000 for one, right? But I think that they're really nice, and eventually, when they do come down in price, I think these are going. I'm sure that if Apple released an iPhone Fold, people would buy that immediately,
Yes.
because
People will buy anything with an Apple logo on it. There's still probably people buying the $300 HomePod 2 or whatever. Oh, jeez. I now personally know someone who paid $1,000 for a Mac Pro, or not, what is it, a Pro Display XDR stand. Uh,
2023.
it's my coworker's parents. They bought a cheese grater
it's
2020 Mac
There's
Pro
no,
new,
it's 2019.
by the way.
There's no 2020 Mac Pro.
No, 2020. This was a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense.
They bought it in 2020 is my point. So, but yeah, still, they bought the cheese grater Mac Pro and then a Pro
Oh my
Display X. I
gosh,
was like,
that's-
oh my gosh. Should have.
Yeah, that's stupid. We might have.
Oh,
we might be able to
that
have
was
a li-
not
we
the
might have a
move to
Linus on this
do.
podcast. After all, he just texted me and asked if I have any spots open for the podcast.
The new one, I
Yeah,
think,
just-
is worse than the old one.
Why would you buy
Why
that
would you
cheese grater
pay
Mac
that
Pro?
big
Even the
price
new
for
Apple
something?
Silicon one. Why would you
Oh, look,
buy that?
I would pay $1,000 for it, not a cent more.
Oh,
Because it's got a
definitely.
GPU. Okay, it's got PCI slots, but what's in those PCI slots when you buy it? USB cards. What are you gonna put in
Oh.
there? Okay, you got decent cooling. You get a good CPU.
It's empty.
But I would pay $1,000 for one with an M2 Pro or even a Max. If you spec out the whole thing, right? Because they don't give you RAM slots, right? They don't give you CPU replaceability. They don't give you GPUs, and I don't care what you say. Apple Silicon is not going to be as good as the. Yeah, you don't have the full GPU. Like you
Can't do memory.
replace something like a full-on NVIDIA or AMD GPU with an Apple Silicon built-in GPU. At least not yet. It's just not the same, right? So what are you gonna put into the PCI cards or PCI card slots? Because apparently you don't need an afterburner card anymore, because Apple Silicon already does that. The Mac Studio is, I might have problems with mine. It is such a good value, such a good machine,
True.
spec-wise, because you're getting the base model has 32 gigs of RAM. Try and beat that with a MacBook Pro. To get a MacBook Pro with 32 gigs of RAM, you're paying what, $400 more just for the RAM?
Yep.
Then you put an M2 Max, because my studio has an M1 Max, but the new ones have an M2 Max. You put that in a MacBook Pro, you're over $3,000, right? You're getting a display, but what if you don't care about the display? What if you just want a desktop, you know?
That is true.
Oh yeah, it's a really.
Well, it's
really
kind of
good
hard to
display,
not care about
but
that
some
display
people
because
just,
that has to be
some
the
people
best
just want
display in the
desktop,
industry.
27-inch display. That's what I believe I'm running, right? I think 27 inches is really nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm one
I'm
of those
32
people
inch
myself.
TV.
I like.
I've
I have
actually been
32
thinking of
inch
upgrading to
TV, and it's
32-inch
very,
monitors.
Very nice. I just don't use it.
And to 4K this time too.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you can do that, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, I might be upgrading to 32-inch 4K monitors at some
Alright.
point this summer.
Our next bit of news is. Oh, Alpha.
So I have to admit, now these 27 inches have looked
inches
small.
Is not a bit, is a bit too small. I personally didn't
Yep.
find my 16-inch MacBook Pro.
King of screen
but
real estate
I
right
understand
here.
that Alpha has to have a giant screen.
I wish that Apple,
because he does everything.
I wish that Apple
Oh,
ditched
geez.
16-inch. I wish Apple ditched the 16-inch MacBook Pro, just gave us a 17-inch one back.
I want
or
an 18-inch
18,
MacBook Pro so badly.
See, that's the one device I could.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's too big.
Where are you gonna put that?
I'd buy a 27-inch MacBook Pro if they made one. I would totally buy a 27-inch MacBook Pro if they made
I
one.
like the like smaller laptops, but I also like the bigger ones. Yeah, the 16-inch MacBook Pro, when I used that, I really liked that. I really liked having the display. So why I got the 14-inch, I wanted something more portable because I felt like I was using my Mac Studio more because the display size gap on the 14 to the 27 is more, right? So I feel like I was using the Mac Studio way more than the MacBook because I put probably 4 charges on the MacBook since I got Studio. So I don't use it, you know, and the 14-inch is just easier for me to kind of take around, so.
To me, I've still found no difference. And yes, I have held the 14-inch before. I found no difference. At least not a noticeable one.
Yeah, there's not really that much of a difference to a 14-inch MacBook Pro compared to a 16-inch one, as I do understand with Alpha. But at the same time, saving every little bit of space does help. As my 16-inch MacBook Pro is a pretty chunky machine. That's why I keep a 16-inch laptop.
But
That's
oh
why my
boy,
next
isn't every
MacBook
inch
Pro
of
is
that
going to be
display
16
very useful on the
inches.
go.
At least I think. I'm considering.
Yeah, I suppose when you have access to giant monitors like I have at my desk, for example, if you have access to monitors like
See,
that
it
all
kinda-
the
it
time, then I
kinda,
can see why screen size on the
kinda
laptop
ruins
itself isn't
The
that
experience
important.
when you have a 27-inch
What is
display
your
next
cat
to a
doing?
16-inch display, no matter what, you know? It's like,
Unless you're actually
whatever
using
I
it
have
at the same time or something. Because to me, when I put my 16-inch MacBook Pro by my 27-inch displays, it looks ridiculous. I want to use the bigger displays
I
more
like
than the
whenever
smaller
Sidecar
one.
on my iPad,
I even find it
but
ridiculous
wasn't
when I
the
use
most
Sidecar on my
practical.
iPad because
Practical,
the
which is
display
why I
size
don't
difference
use
is just
now
it doesn't
since
feel like it
I'm not
belongs.
homeschooled anymore.
I mean, whenever I'm using a laptop and a monitor at once, I just use the monitor. I don't see a use in, sure, you'll get space for more crap on the laptop, but it's like,
I would
I don't know.
if I had an
It just
external monitor
seems
for my
more
desktop,
intuitive.
for my laptop, I would just use the monitor. Unless I had something important to do.
I don't know. I've just never really been the biggest fan of using multiple monitors for that kind of stuff. I have a vertical monitor. I like using the vertical monitor as my second one because I can have like a Discord
that
feed or
makes
something going on.
Pretty cool. So, explain briefly what Stormy, the cat in the background, was trying to do. He tried to.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Stormy. He was trying to get up here from the edge of my desk, but could not because I have Rubbermaid boxes blocking it.
What's the matter with that animal?
I suppose he thought he could get in from the gap.
But another thing that I will say about the Mac Studio compared to the Mac Pro, I don't think the Mac Pro has like.
Well, he thought wrong.
side-mounted USBs. I'm pretty sure it's got like top mounted, but using front mounted versus top mounted is way different. I just plug in a USB.
Yeah, front mounted is so much more
Yeah,
convenient than
exactly.
top
Messing around with the
mounted.
top. And then you got the iMacs and crap with it on the back.
Yeah, but
Depends.
otherwise I prefer front mount.
Unless you put the computer on the floor.
Yeah, but with all my desktops on my desk, it irritates me so much.
If you put the computer on the floor, then I prefer top
It irritates me
mounted.
so much how with my 2008 iMac and my Acer desktop, there's no power button on the front or anything, but my Toshiba desktop has one. So that's very annoying because I have to go around and reach for the back of those things, and oftentimes have to look manually to figure out where everything is. Especially with the USB ports on my Toshiba desktop, which is very annoying considering I use that with a lot of jailbreaking and downgrading my old Apple devices. My iMac isn't any better though. That's the thing. All of its stupid ports and the power.
Well, your
button on the
iMac's not going to
back.
be much better.
The only thing I can easily access is the DVD drive, and I don't have much use for a DVD drive. And if I'm gonna burn a DVD, I'll probably just do it on my 2012 MacBook Pro.
Yeah. Another thing that I just realized that's kind of weird about the new Mac Pro. Why is there still no SD card slot?
Oh, no, it's
Yet the
Mac
Mac
Pro that
Studio
doesn't have
has one?
Or why doesn't the Pro have one? I mean,
The
yeah, the
Mac Pro
Studio's
just
got
needs
one
to
on
be
the front.
completely invalidated.
It should be
No,
discontinued.
the Studio
at
has
this
one.
point.
The Mac Pro doesn't.
Pretty sure I've said it in the past. They need to fix it or discontinue.
Yep, we've said that in many episodes.
Let's stop.
What?
Marquez Brownlee
What
went
did
back to it.
Marquez do?
Oh, good.
You went back to the Mac Pro. Makes sense.
Marquez Brownlee went back to the Mac Pro.
See, it makes sense. It makes sense because he's using all that.
He went back
power
to the Mac Pro, the M2
Yeah,
Apple
he's got the
Silicon one.
funds to spend on it, and he's probably using that. Didn't they like release a new chipset too? Wait, didn't they release a new chipset?
What's the power difference
Yeah,
between the
it's
two?
horrible on the Mac Studio though.
Oh, there's got to be some reason why he's using that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Oh.
He says something about using the expansion card. I don't know what he's putting in there though. I mean, he's saying something about how he's got this PCIe RAID
land.
storage
He's
thing that's
basically just
replacing
trying to
his
keep
promised
everything
Pegasus storage
internal.
rack he keeps on his
Dude,
desk and
external
stuff like
stuff
that.
is so much more modular. Like you should just keep it.
Seriously, all that money just
external thing.
well, I think that PCI you would have to do PCI. Look, here's the thing though. PCI is a lot faster than like.
I just
Oh,
put it
it
on a
is
server that anyone has
It is
access
faster,
to.
so it is. I guess it's
Yeah,
sort of
so
more
if
practical.
you're
but
doing something
just
like
buy
that-
more storage for your computer.
That is
Marquez
true.
Brownlee
That
can't
is
possibly have
that
that
is very
many
true.
files
I
that he
don't
has
think-
to store on his computer.
I think that he needs a couple hundred terabytes.
Well, what
of
about
storage.
over
I think- didn't he
Ethernet,
have, like,
too?
a petabyte or something. At one point.
I don't know what he has, but I don't watch his videos.
Probably.
So.
He probably got something like that from Linus, I
Who,
believe.
Marquez Brownlee. I watch his videos sometimes. I mean, typical big tech YouTuber. You know, he knows what he's talking about. You know, just kind of. He doesn't mess up with his videos. He knows what he's talking about, and you know you can always trust him for information
Yeah.
because he's not like political or anything. He's just kind of.
That is actually one thing I'll give Marquez Brownlee credit for. That unfortunately is stupid as certain.
Yeah, he
Jeffries
stayed out of that, thank
not.
goodness.
Wait, does Hugh Jeffries get?
Well, I mean,
political now?
he did make a video about how
Directly?
repair is Cuba's only option because sanctions left Cuba in the 1950s.
I don't think that's specifically political.
Well, I mean, you said his video was turning into a
I didn't
political
watch
sort
the
of
video.
blog because he's just making all of it.
Well,
His videos have turned into political blogs because he's basically claiming that everything should be for
I'd
the.
say yes, they are becoming
environment
more
now.
political. I'd say yes, they are becoming more political in how he's kind of doing them. But I was wondering if he said anything, you know, directly.
No, he is. He's
related.
never said anything direct.
But
I don't think he said anything directly related to politics, but I don't watch his videos anymore because he whines too much about. Because he states too much false information.
I just kind of think his videos are a little bit stupid.
Yeah,
if you
like
ask
he.
me.
Remember his one video where that was about the Apple Vision Pro problem that no one was talking about, and it was about how it could lead to more loneliness amongst people, but when literally everybody was talking about that.
Yeah, sure, it'll make people lonely. Yeah, no. You can sit there on a phone all day.
That's the problem with everything.
can sit
though.
there on a-
Yeah. Not to mention that Hugh
Yeah.
Jeffries is probably just taking out his loneliness on all his viewers.
Yeah, probably. Well, yeah, I don't really think that Hugh Jeffries would. I don't really think he's got all that many friends.
Well, I think it caused more. I mean,
I mean, imagine him going to his friends saying, "Oh yeah, mate,
well, with what he's been uploading lately, I wouldn't think so.
You
But
should go and buy an iPhone 10 instead. It's more environmentally friendly, bro." Yeah, man.
Well, I don't know if he.
Yeah, man. Or no, you
Deal,
should
you
go
got
and
it.
buy a BlackBerry.
How does he? Hugh Jeffries thinks you
You can
should stick.
repair
with
actually, I
your
think the
own
newer
stuff
phones are
because
becoming
it's-
more
you
environmentally
just
friendly.
repair it over time. But to be fair, he also buys so
Yeah, you can all.
much tech that he doesn't even use, and he also. And what else?
He buys dumb crap like Blackberries and stuff to use as his main phone. Come on, that thing can't be good. I don't care how much you use your phone. Why are you using a Blackberry? You know, it's 2000.
The only person I know who still uses a BlackBerry other than Hugh Jeffries is Sam Tucker from Sam Time.
I don't know
Even he has
anybody
an
who
iPhone
uses
12
BlackBerry
that he
today.
Seems to use too.
I thought that dude had an S9.
He does
Plus
have an
or
S9.
something, S8 Plus.
Yeah. I think he switches around. Maybe.
Why is man not using a? Well, I don't know. I don't really watch his videos that much. They used to be really funny, but they kind of
I
got
think
boring.
sometimes videos are still sometimes funny, but they have gotten a little more boring.
I used to watch him when I was like. I used to watch him in like 2017, 2018. You know, I just kind of stopped doing them. you
They've
know,
gotten a
and
tad
stopped
dry.
recommending them to me. I just kind of haven't cared enough. Just the same like parodies. I don't know. They used to be funnier when I was, you know, when I was still not the age I am now. Because I don't know if YouTube would mess me up, because technically I wasn't 13 when I made my channel.
Yeah,
But
I was 8. I was 8 when I made
don't
my
really-
YouTube channel.
I was 13.
I don't even-
My 2 channels terminated before that.
Luckily, my YouTube Google account was
YouTube
created
is-
back in 2015, so it's from before Google started really cracking down. So I'm good and safe. But
See, I'm
and I'm
fine
15 now, so even
I
if
just
they
don't
ask
know
me for
what
my
they
ID, I can
would-
just show them a picture of my learner's permit.
Yeah, I guess.
And my Google account currently thinks I'm.
I don't know.
My Google account thinks I'm currently 26.
Meanwhile, I'm an adult. I've got nothing to worry
Yeah,
about.
my main Google account thinks I'm 26.
Why do you have this information on hand? Why do you just remember that?
Because
Why
I
do
know
you
his
remember
birthday
that?
is
What?
March 26, 1997.
And
People born in 97 or 26. Damn. Oh my god.
I wasn't actually born in 1997, obviously.
I can tell.
Drives me nuts. Every time I look at my mom, she's in her... Yeah, because I'm older than him, and I was not born in 97. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's hard for me to look at my mom because she's in, like, her 40s and something. She does not look like she's in her 40s. She looks like
Yeah,
she's
people
just
get old. I
broken
remember
30.
just the, I remember it like it was yesterday that I was back. I wanted
It's hard
to
to
go
believe
into
how
the
old
next
people
level
get
of
that
grade
fast.
level preschool. Now I'm back when I was 4. Now I'm going into high school later this year.
You're still... Dude, I forgot that you're not in high
Yeah,
school
I
yet.
was. Yeah, I got held back. Yeah, my parents kept me in preschool
What
for
fun.
a year because I wasn't quite mature enough to go to kindergarten back in 2013.
Oh.
Same thing for me, except I got held back in first grade.
No, luckily I don't have to deal with public schooling.
I hated high school. I hated middle school.
All right. Well, let's get back on topic to our next bit of news, as we still have quite a lot of news to cover. The European Union the EU's mandate for battery packs being easily removable. I just wanted to point this out. That it does not mean like in the good old days when, let me grab any phone right here, like this Nokia, for example. It does not mean that it has to be removable like this. Instead means that they can't use proprietary screws, and it must be more easily accessible. So more like on the iPhone 3GS level of kind of repair.
So, the iPhone...
Penelope.
The
Oh, so
iPhone
all Apple
are
really
not
has to do is
iPhones
just
anymore,
swap
they're
the screws for
European
their
Union.
non-pentastar screws and
Taylor's
just swap them for
text
Phillips
said in his
screws or
skit
something like that.
Apple is going to make them EU phone. That Apple had made them EU phones.
That's what it is. Truthfully.
Yep, it'll be the European Union phone. Well, more nations will leave the EU.
Essentially.
As they're basically being screwed right now. For reasons we will not get into on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
can't get the stupid Nokia back to go back on.
Well, I think it's kind of obvious. We don't have to point it out. It's obvious
This
enough.
phone doesn't work. Yeah, sometimes I forget. But sometimes it's easy. Sometimes it's sometimes it's weird for me to think that I have all this other weird non-Apple tech. When I hardly ever touch it or make videos about it.
What do you guys think about ThinkPads?
I
have to
personally
use it all
hate
the time, and I
ThinkPads just
absolutely
because of the operating
despise
system
it.
they run.
What about besides the OS?
They're
You know,
just
what do you think about,
okay,
the
like they're
hardware,
nothing
the hardware
special,
itself?
and they're not the solid laptops they used to be.
I'm using one right now. It's okay. It's not my main, of course. It's an old T440S from like 2000.
For me, my
I think. I'm just using it for a few Windows-related things that I have to deal with, but it's okay. You know, I don't really have a problem with it. The keyboard on this one
I'm
is
okay
kinda
with
bad.
ThinkPad's
It's
keyboards
that weird curve.
personally, but I do think they
For
are.
me, I'm not a
really
fan of the
good.
keyboard.
And that track point should just be eliminated. I hate that so much.
Yes.
I don't
It
hate
needs
it.
to go.
Yep.
Hold on, I'm getting.
I hate the nipple so much just because
I'll be
it's
back.
like it should be. I understand that IBM had to.
Oh,
integrate it
the
first
little
into
nipple thing
ThinkPads
in the
because there
keyboard?
was no trackpads, but now ThinkPads have trackpads. We don't need a nipple anymore. My ThinkPad doesn't have. My working ThinkPad doesn't have one, but it's from 2012, so.
I think they even have touchscreens.
I don't get it either.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad's
I
had
still
several
don't get the
touchscreen
appeal for a
laptops, and he
touchscreen
hasn't
on a
used
Windows laptop.
touchscreens on his laptops. I've
And the
had a
people
few
who
that
do
I
have them on their
used touchscreens
laptops,
on,
they
and so has my
never
mom
use them.
and my aunt. Who likes to brag to you about that?
My grandpa loves to brag to
yeah.
me how his Asus laptop
I
has a
think your
touchscreen
grandpa
on
just
it.
like showing off.
I've never seen him use it. But my grandpa. He's basically the complete opposite of me when it comes to tech. I've got the MacBook, the iPhone and such. He's got the gaming PC in his basement. He's got
Does he have a
Windows
Galaxy
laptop,
Watch?
Android tablets, Samsung Galaxy flagship smartphone. Yeah, complete opposite
So I
of
think
me.
Grant actually has a
He likes to
Galaxy
brag that
Watch
he's
like
got the
that.
touchscreen. Galaxy Gear
It's going
Watch,
somewhere
actually,
right now.
but yes, it's the one with the rotating bezel.
Yeah, Grant has
Galaxy
one,
Watch?
and so does
Yes.
Alva's grandfather.
I had one of those for about a week years ago. I hated it.
The Gear. I really like the rotating bezel. That was a unique way to do a watch, and I just appreciated that alone, just because it's not what everyone else is
I like
doing.
it
It's
too.
taking
In
something
fact,
unique,
maybe
and
should
I
get
actually really
another
liked it. I
Galaxy
thought
Watch that has
just like
that.
it's basically the digital crown, but on the face
I
and
don't really
easier
touch
to
my
see and
Android
access.
phones
I liked it a lot.
and tablets, so that would be pretty. Or I don't
Yeah.
touch.
Saw someone.
I just don't touch my non-Apple devices very much to the point where it's not really worth.
I think it should work with the iPhone. To my knowledge, it is a standalone watch.
They already ditched the credit card emulation feature, which was so awesome, right?
Yeah, I really hope
Steve?
Samsung never ditches the rotating bezel. That is.
Hey Teddy, do you have deep conversations
Oh,
with
there's
Yeah.
a reason why I left that brand a long time ago.
you talk to your cats about
Haven't
looked
and
back.
stuff? You just have a lot of deep conversations with the
Yeah, I
the
talk
animals?
to them mostly about what's going on with them, like why they're on my lap, or why Stormy interrupts my podcast or has to be right by me. Yeah, because he's right by me right now.
So you don't have deep conversations with your cats?
No, I mean I talk to them, but I don't.
Yeah, you
have
should
deep
try my dog,
conversations
Marley.
with them just because they can't speak English, so it's rather pointless.
Maybe one day.
Sometimes I talk to them. Yeah, my great grandmother used to have a dog that tried to speak English when it would say "whoa."
My dogs try to speak
Whoa.
English. It's so funny.
When it would ask for water. Alright. Well, getting back on topic again.
Yeah, they know how to
the
say hello.
Speaking of watches, Apple is working on a new Apple Watch Ultra for later this year, so we'll have a yearly update cycle.
I've given it more thought. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the Series 9 or the Ultra because I said that I would buy an Ultra, right? Or the Ultra 2 eventually, or not eventually, but when it came out. Thinking about it more, right? The way I see it, the Apple Watch that I have, I think is really good, and I don't really want to mess with it too much. And I liked the Ultra when I had it for like 3 hours that I had it, but I don't. It was just, I don't even know how to say it. It didn't seem like something I would keep forever or keep for a long time. It seemed like something I would kind of get tired of after a few months.
I'm sticking with the Series. I bought a Series 7 just because of the blue color, but once I get a new MacBook, I might upgrade.
For me,
my
I'm
Apple
sticking
Watch
with the
again
Series
to
7
Ultra
just because of the
because
design.
I
don't like the Ultra, it's just
whatever the latest Ultra is at that point, just because I just kind of upgrade over to the Apple Watch Series 7 just to get a nice new design with as a decent holdover watch, but because I just saved up from the iPhone 14 Pro, so I was a bit in a financial squeeze at that point. But now I might have. But the Series 7 and at least it might get upgraded in a year or so. I personally just like the durable design of the Apple Watch
Not a lot of
Ultra.
things
and
that you
just
can
think they
really-
look cool. Look a little bit cool.
I just don't see how I would
The
benefit from
design
an
in
Ultra.
person isn't as durable.
Yeah, it isn't as durable in person, but I still think the Apple Watch Ultras are nice watches. As my mom has one, she really likes it, and the battery life is a very envious.
Yeah, they're nice
factor.
watches without a doubt. But yeah, it's more of the long-term battery life for me. You know, in 2 years you'll be able to keep it because the battery health isn't going to be so degraded.
That's one thing I wish my
Mine has
watch
that.
had
It is-
too.
It's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point. The one thing I wish my watch
Yeah,
did have
it's
was the
nice.
sapphire glass.
I have a scratch on.
Is it
I
scratching
got
at
a
all?
scratch on my Series 7, and my Series 5 is of course pretty much beat up on the
I
front.
mean,
which is why
Ionics isn't
I
bad,
got a case
but
for my Series
it's-
7 that got.
I got some scratches on that.
Dent in it that otherwise took the fall for my Apple Watch itself. In case you're wondering, we have
can't
some company
stand
over at my
cases
house,
on
so the
watches.
dogs are acting really wild right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't stand having a case on my watch though. I think it is.
That's why I got this.
It's.
I actually had to
it's
get a really
lot.
thin
Yeah, it's
case
supposed
so
to-
that way it wouldn't seem like extra bulk.
Yeah, to me,
Which
that's
I
just
have-
adding
I have another
unnecessary
white
bulk.
case, Apple
And it's
Watch
not only
case that
that.
I absolutely hate just because it's so bulky. But at the same time, this watch just
I mean, it's.
I
a
have to
watch,
get a case for
you
my
know.
watch so that way I don't scratch it and everything. And so that because I press my
I mean, the
watch,
way I see it.
you wouldn't think you would need a case for a watch considering you don't drop it, but I press my Apple Watch against so much stuff just because I wear it.
The way that I see it, it's a watch. You're not really gonna want to cover it up with all this crap on it. You know, all this junk.
Yeah, I mean that's why
Yeah. And also, you know,
I don't
it
wear my
just-
Apple Watch at night.
Because
just
that's going to be
looks
on your
dumb.
wrist for the majority
I
of the
don't
day.
personally. I know a lot of people who do.
Yeah.
Sometimes
my
even during the
wrists are-
night.
I really want a stainless steel Apple Watch too, and I might buy one.
sapphire
for
glass.
Yeah,
the
the only
collection.
reason why I'd upgrade is to get the stainless steel one, just because I want that sapphire glass.
I hate Windows
What did it
so
do
much.
this time?
It wants to save my files in some dumb
Oh my.
efficiency format, and I can't disable that.
Microsoft, you don't need to care about
know
the
how Chrome is always
environment. You
downloading-
don't care about the environment as you don't improve on making the system
No, it's not even that. It just
working to be worth less time. It's like, so okay, I know.
it's not environmental stuff. It's literally just saving my crap in like dumb file formats, like JFIF for a JPEG. What the hell is a JFIF?
It's a
Like Chrome's WebP files are stupid. I hate WebP files, but like JFIF,
Alpha-
like come on.
Windows
Just
default.
use PNG or
Windows
JPEG.
hates PDFs.
Never heard that one.
They do?
Oh, same here.
Probably because
Can't import
Oh,
those
yeah.
into Photoshop.
half the stuff that Windows XP was PDFs. You know, half the stuff that people use.
Oh
Windows
yeah,
XP
they've hated
was-
it ever since Windows
Yeah,
10.
Yeah, the thing that drives me nuts about Windows trying to be environmentally friendly is
A lot of what people still use today is PDFs, and yet, Windows really hates them
At
today.
least Tabby has seen King of the Hill, but have Alpha and Grant seen King of the Hill?
Clips. Like what?
Okay. Okay, so there was one episode when they in the show were forced to upgrade to low flow toilets.
No, I have not
And they
seen
of
that.
course but your business would not go down when you flushed it when just one flush, even though it used less water, to the point where you had to flush it even sometimes up to 7 times. That's like what Windows is. Or have you guys seen Seinfeld?
Okay, interesting analogy, but
There was
okay.
one episode when they were forced to get low flow shower heads and it ruined everybody's hair.
I don't watch a lot of
Which again
movies,
is how
actually.
Windows, even though it tries to save the environment by using less power, in reality it just wastes people's time. Oh, we actually used to have no flush
Yeah,
urinals
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure
on
it's
you.
just
at my
kind of like a
elementary
drain.
school.
I'm
and how
still
they
trying to
work is
figure
they
out
have-
how those no-flush
they have-
urinals
so
work.
they have direct pipelines to. Basically, they have a giant tank, and they use gravity to basically get all your urine down into the pipe systems, and they had it all configured so that way it works well. They don't. Yeah, they usually make it
except,
drip down, but my
it's-
school doesn't use.
It can still
my
stick
elementary
to the
school, when
the
I was in
walls of
third
the
grade,
urinal.
they
You know what I
had
mean?
Urinals that do flush. Well, they're not. You don't touch the urinals, to be fair, and you're supposed to wash your hands after.
I
you
just
use
don't
the
see how that's
bathroom, so-
sanitary. The no-flush ones. There's no way it can be.
Well, no flush
I mean,
urinals
that's
just
true,
use
but
less
still,
water, and they
I just
also
don't see
look-
how it's
And I think they all.
how
I
it
don't
can
think
be
they
as
look that cool,
sanitary
but I think
as
they're
their
at least-
standard
They
flushing one.
functionally are very cool. But getting back on topic away from
when did,
urinals, because
when
I'm
you
sure
become
that's
the
not what
urinal
people want to
fanboy?
be watching on this podcast. macOS and Sonoma now has a
Yeah,
system-wide
you went
caps.
from the iTunes fanboy
Tabby,
to the
what'd you
urinal
say?
fanboy.
Yeah.
You went from being the iTunes fanboy to
Yeah.
the urinal fanboy.
Now I'm going back to the Apple fanboy with some news that macOS Sonoma now has a system-wide caps lock warning, where it'll display on screen whenever you have caps lock is turned on. So that way, if your keyboard doesn't have a light for some reason or something, you'll get notified more easily when caps lock is turned on, which is sort of a gimmick.
So what all?
That's pretty useful.
What all does macOS Sonoma or whatever like?
It basically copies
so
Windows
basically
Vista
that's
with
a-
the widgets and
That's actually a
Linux
feature from
iPadOS
Windows.
with the lock screen.
What all is like? Going
Yeah, it's getting a lot of Windows-esque things, but in my opinion, it's getting a lot of
So it's got the
actually
lock screen
good
that
stuff
looks
for
a lot
Windows.
like iPadOS and Windows 11.
Alright.
And it's got the widgets like on Windows Vista on the actual desktop. I don't know either. There's a reason why Microsoft got rid of them with Windows 7.
Why would you want those there, though?
Security flaw.
I think widget.
I'm so confused.
I hate widgets so much.
I think Apple's gone a little too
I think Apple
overboard with this whole
acquiring
widgets
Johnny
thing.
Ive is really ruined
I
Apple.
feel like iOS
I
is
think
now
because
nothing
Apple
but you
made
gotta
Johnny
interact with
Ive
widgets
quit. I
and
think
such
since
now. I'm
Johnny
like,
Ive quit, they've just been
it's now clutter in front of my
That
workspace.
annoys the crap out of me. And I'm sure that annoys the crap out of him too.
Wouldn't be surprised if he's not
I
using
I miss Johnny Ive too because iOS used
Yeah.
to give Johnny Ive his credit where it was due when iOS.
Not gonna lie, I really miss Johnny Ive.
Skeuomorphic to the flat design iOS 7. It's still one of the cleanest iOS designs ever to this day. Like it's so much cleaner than iOS 16 and 17 to the point where it's one of my favorite iOS.
I think the dude's kind of funky.
It's
but he
not
knew what
the-
he was doing with it.
iOS. If you look at iOS 7 is not the same as iOS 16. Okay, I've
And then
used
there's the
both
design of
versions.
this
They're
thing,
not the
too.
same.
It's quite the same.
It's like saying iOS 1 is this iPhone firmware 1 is the same as iOS 16.
No.
iOS 6 and iOS 1,
Hmm.
or iPhone OS 1 as the geeks call it, are very
They're not-
comparable. Right? But iOS 7 and iOS 6 are uncomparable. So you can compare 16 and 7 because they're the same design. You know,
If
they're
you
the
look-
same platform. They're
If
the
you
same
look
design
though,
platform.
they actually have a lot of differences in them. If you look closely, like I consider iOS 11 to be a major redesigned version of iOS that wasn't well known for it, since even though the icons didn't change,
It wasn't a
a lot of the
major
icons
redesign, it was
changed and it
somewhat of
became
one.
more of all around emphasis. It just became kind of more skeuomorphic in a sense, but also flat.
I mean, that's when we got the first good control
Yeah,
center.
I love the iOS. I personally like the iOS 7,
guess iOS
7 through
7's
9
is okay.
control center. I hate the iOS 10 one so much. I personally like the early control center, but I do
Yeah.
think it is limited.
I don't hate any of them. I just kind of think this one makes the most sense.
I
with
like
much
how simple-
functionality you get.
I like how simple the older control centers were, though, so that's why I do prefer the old school control center.
You'd rather have that than
Mhm.
the current one?
Actually, yeah. Just because it took up less space. But getting back on topic, or getting back to our next news topic, M3 Max are going to be coming out in early 2024, or at least they're rumored to. Oh, Apple's also reportedly working
Yes.
on an iMac that's at least 30 inches. I
iMac
think
needs
Grant's
it.
excited.
That sounds
Yeah,
cool.
if they made a 32-inch
Yeah.
iMac Pro, would you buy
Sounds
it?
cool.
What did you say, Grant?
It sounds really cool.
Oh. Alpha, I'm surprised
Yeah,
you're
I
not
wish I was in
excited
the market
it,
for an
since
iMac, but I'm not.
Wouldn't you love to have a display? So am I.
The truth is, I actually, as a product, yes, it is. I am very excited that they are making an iMac bigger than 27 inches. I am actually excited for the product,
I can understand
but
that. I personally
I
am not
wouldn't
a big
buy
fan
it
of
because
external stuff in and
I'm
docking
content with the way my desk
laptops and
setup
all that,
currently
but
works with my
I'm
MacBook Pro being plugged into my
I like
monitors.
simple things.
So, yeah, the only reason why I would make it work,
The
but
iMac could
I
replace
don't even know
one
if I
of
could
the-
do it on this desk
the
even,
iMac
because I'm
could
realizing I got
replace one
two
of the
27
monitors,
inches,
so
trying to
two
upgrade them to 32 at
gigabytes.
some point, and then to shove a 30-inch
Yeah.
iMac just on what? I don't even know if I have all that room
And if you
anymore.
have- then I don't understand the point of that. At the
No, I'd actually upgrade to a triple monitor setup if I did that. Because to me, the thing that I love about my dual monitor setup is it's symmetric. So if I were to get the 32-inch iMac, whatever screen size it is, I'm going to have two 32-inch monitors flanking
I sort of have a triple
each end of
monitor
it.
setup going. As
So
I
that would
do
give me a triple
desktops on my
monitor setup,
desk.
which, not gonna lie, that does sound really sweet. Though I don't even know if my desk would hold that.
Yeah, that is true. But I could. But since we have the same desk, you could probably pull a triple monitor setup.
Yeah, but they're all individual desktops.
I think my Toshiba. I know my Acer is a 21.5 inch, and
Well, how big are the monitors
I
on
don't know
your
about my Toshiba.
desk anyway? Your iMac's a
It
20-inch, I
looks-
know
let me
that.
hold it up to my Acer. No, I think my Acer Toshiba's a little bit bigger. The Toshiba might be 20.
Yeah, well,
Toshiba
20
might be
inch next to
27
20 inch
inches.
plus maybe
But I don't have a tape
22,
measure with me,
24-ish inch
It looks
compared
like
to three
looks like it
30-inch
is.
monitors.
My iMac actually does.
That
look
big?
fair- My Toshiba's a lot lower than my iMac, but my iMac display.
My
actually
20-inch
does look
iMac looks
pretty
small
similar
compared to my
Toshiba.
27-inch monitors.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably might. Yeah, that's why. That's why I don't
Yeah,
have
well,
very much junk on.
I'm not
my
too sure if I can make
desk.
three
It's
30-inch
everything I
monitors
have
work
on
on
my
this
desk
desk,
that's not
but
that
I don't know,
stays
maybe I just
there,
have to
that's
clear
not
some of
on-
this junk
that's
off
not
of it.
Any of my computers, my computer desktops, mice and keyboards and power supplies is my pencil sharpener, which I need to get a new cover for, or else just get a new pencil sharpener. I'll bring out the other one from my that's in storage. I prefer electric. I hate mechanical pencils so much because they snap so easily.
I just use mechanical pencils. I've got a ton of these everywhere.
Well, that doesn't.
Well,
I
try
don't waste
resharpening your pencil every
I
time,
actually
only
do.
just for it
That's
to
why I
break in
usually
the
just go
sharpener, so then you gotta
Other
sharpen it
pencils
more.
I find on the floor.
I think I've wasted 10 minutes of a class period just doing that.
But I have plenty of pencils this year, and I'll see if I can about keeping a pencil sharpener on me, as I can probably do it. As we have 8-minute breaks in high school, and I can also just do it during spare time once I finish an assignment. Well, I can't say too much about my high school, but yeah, we have 8-minute breaks.
You have 8-minute breaks? I only had 5.
Our middle school, they're only 4 minutes.
barely had time to go to the bathroom in 5 minutes.
Most of the time, your classes would be in the 8th grade hallway at middle school. Most of the time.
I hope your classes were right next to each
Unless
other.
you had
Jeez, that's
related
barely
arts
any
or
time.
something.
I remember 6th grade. I was in band. I played the flute. But the problem was the 6th grade wing was on the complete opposite side of the school compared to where the band room was. So you had to walk through the rest of the middle school. You had to walk through the high school. You had to walk through the lunchroom and the auditorium and all of that just to get to the very end of the building where the band room was. All in 5 minutes.
That's interesting. I've never heard of
No,
that.
it was... they had the elementary school grades K through 5.
Imagine
and then
how
6
scary it would
through
be to...
12 in a separate building.
Imagine how scary it would be to have a
With a different address and such.
To have a tiny 6th
Yeah, the middle and the
grader
high school was combined.
near all
But the elementary
12th
school was
graders.
a separate address.
Guessing he was smart.
I had a 6th grader in my algebra class.
Wow, he's very smart.
Oh, he was. I believe he published his own book about mathematics. Yeah, he's a smart cookie. So, yeah, I had to deal with a 6th grader in my algebra class. No. In fact, if anything, he asked really good questions during algebra. He was one of the most talkative ones, but that's because he had interest in math. So because of that, he was asking really good questions, and everybody loved him.
The only kid that did
Despite that he's like 2-3 grades below us.
That's real.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. When geometry came around, he tested out geometry, algebra 2, and pre-calc all in one summer.
Was that smart?
That kid is crazy.
In math, to be fair, so.
But dang, he's a smart cookie. I kid you not.
All right. The next bit of tech news that we have to cover is that there's going to be a new iPad Pro with an OLED display and an iPad Air later this year. The iPad Pro might come out in 2024 though. iPad OS does not need work. It is.
I've still been debating on selling this because the software needs work. No, that aside, actually, there's another issue that to me just boggles my mind. Apple Silicon, right? It's powerful and all that. I mean, this thing has the M1 chip in it. But why is
doesn't overheat my iPad Air 5?
What's a light task? Browsing Safari. Why is browsing Safari overheating this thing?
I guess that's the benefit of not updating your devices.
Really? Because mine is always overheating.
It's definitely not the updates, though. I'd say
there's something might be wrong with your specific.
But I don't even think that's the case. But still, so to me, this is just weird.
Oh, you had Apple
Yeah, he
Care?
had to get it.
I mean, I got a new one from thanks to Apple Care. They just chucked the old one and gave me a new one.
Yeah,
so.
Alpha had to actually look into it when we
okay.
were recording the last
But-
episode of our podcast. Oh.
No, I literally bought.
Oh, Apple.
I literally
Oh, Apple
subscribed to it
definitely
the
doesn't
day
care
that
about-
I cracked the screen.
Apple doesn't really care that much about their users. As we'll find out more later when
They
we
don't
have to
care
talk
that
about my
we're-
Yeah.
Apple
they don't
support
care about your
experience.
Mhm. Yeah, I had.
I don't think that Apple cares about your podcast, to be honest. I think they kind of find it an annoyance because we're always talking about the old and new iPhones.
Oh yes. Yeah, I don't think.
And old software.
Eh.
Though to me, at this point, they don't care about their users that much anymore. All they care
Why
about is
wouldn't
their
you be impressed
shareholders.
with Apple now? Oh yeah, we've already been into that.
Which I don't even know how their shareholders would be impressed with what they're doing. Because personally, if I was a shareholder, I wouldn't be impressed. Yeah, they're making a lot of money. That's true. And that's what a lot of people care about. But personally, I care more than just making money. They should be making good products too. And
Microsoft is such a. Microsoft should go bankrupt.
yeah,
I wish
they're
they
all
could just
wasting
go
their money at this
bankrupt.
point.
They're such a bad.
It's not gonna get better, guys.
That's because SolidWorks never.
Tried tweeting at SolidWorks to let them know about how frustrating this is, but nope. No, they didn't care. It seems like I actually think that SolidWorks has the Windows mindset because all it takes is for an update to be pending, and it doesn't even have to be a Windows update. It could be a SolidWorks update. Your current version just instantly slows down to the point where it's useless.
Your boss still let you? Why is
Then
your
you have to
boss
waste-
make you use SolidWorks?
At least
Like,
Windows, it's half an hour of trying to update the software. SolidWorks, you're waiting a full hour. Hour and a half sometimes. He's got to go through the same
Why
thing.
doesn't he just?
He's got to go through the exact same thing.
Why doesn't he just get?
When there's an
why
update
doesn't
pending
he
on
just
his
find an
laptop,
alternative
he's
that
got to
works on Mac
wait
OS
half
and
an
get
hour to
rid of-
update it. And when
Yeah,
he's
everybody
got a
doesn't have a
SolidWorks
Mac
update,
to
he's
Mac.
got to wait an hour and a half to
Maybe you could
update that.
sell your XPS. He should realize that macOS is superior.
Well, for one, he hates macOS. And actually, the problem is, especially in the CAD industry, is
You could add with apps.
in terms of the
though, I'm
feature
not-
set that we're looking
you
for,
could
there's
maybe
nothing
add
on
apps, but
macOS.
I'm not going to get into argue with you about that since I know you know way more about that than I do.
That's our issue.
About what now?
The whole metal industry and the shop industry that Alpha's in.
Oh, yeah, I don't know nothing about any of that.
But yeah, but
That
the
is
problem
the
is the feature set that we're
SolidWorks
looking for in the
needs to have
software. It's not even
macOS.
available on macOS.
It's
The closest
not.
I found was like Shaper 3D or something, and it's still missing a lot of stuff compared to what SolidWorks has.
Maybe the people who work at
I'm
SolidWorks
tweeting at them, but the problem is they appear to have the exact same mindset as Windows, especially when it comes to updates. That might be the case, but yeah, I really wish it was available for Mac. But even then, I gotta convince my boss to switch to the
My
platform.
dad was a Mac user when he.
He's
had
used
his
it
job
before.
back
He
in
told me that
1980s,
when he
but
went to
still
college,
used
he used a Mac when he went to college.
Yeah, my dad worked on a Macintosh Plus, but
So
he still doesn't want to switch to Mac OS even though he hates Windows.
I think he had the original
It's 'cause
Macintosh.
He doesn't know Mac OS that well. Well, Mac OS is not that hard to get you. He knows how to use macOS. It's just that he refuses to put time. He knows how to use it. It's just that he doesn't want to leave what he knows. But what he knows is frustration.
You're just gonna have to have a sit-down training
It's like
session with him.
It's like at this point staying in China.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
think you're gonna be called a race car driver.
I'm not saying Chinese people. I don't
Okay,
intend
dude,
to
edit
call out
this part
Chinese
out.
people.
Well, yeah, I understand
as
what you're
the
saying.
Chinese people are nice, but I'm intending
I
to
just
call
don't
out the
really-
Chinese government.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that the Chinese fellows are gonna take that the right way.
Yeah, Chinese people are nice, but their government is not.
Unless you're into that fucking weird government. Oh, I just swear to
That's okay.
Yeah.
We can swear.
I
That's
forgot that
okay. You're
wasn't
allowed
like
to
a
swear
call
on
with my friends.
TIFP just as long as it's not too bad.
So true. My best friend
I forgot I
was.
wasn't on like a call with my friends, like I normally.
Well, we have some more Apple news. Well, did we already cover that AirPods Pro 3 are releasing later this year alongside a new Apple TV?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Apparently, it's got a yearly refresh cycle now.
Another new one? Dude, that's actually.
Yeah, I hope
really
it gets
cool.
the A17 chip.
They're actually,
There's a new Apple TV coming out.
yeah, they're doing good stuff.
Yeah, the
Might
Apple
hold off
TV
on-
is actually a solid proc this year. Now.
Well, I've liked the Apple TV forever. Huh?
I mean, that's nice, but that's not the biggest reason why
Yeah,
I
that's
buy an
nice.
Apple TV.
Especially with that USB-C Siri remote. The USB-C Siri remote. I've been debating actually.
You
I
should
think
do
I
that
found a
if you like
spot
watching
if I were to
TV
put a
in
TV in my
your
room.
Maybe.
I'd have to clear off my dresser, but I've been thinking about putting a TV on my dresser and hooking an Apple TV up to that.
I mean, is your. Hey, Alpha, I have
The
a
thing is, though,
question.
most TVs
How is
basically
your
now have
eyesight,
some their own software on
normal,
it,
like, without
and
glasses,
is it
or
worth
can you
paying
see
an extra
far away?
$100 for? Yeah.
Then yeah, buy a nice.
I am
TV. That's worth
farsighted,
it for you. You can
so
buy-
I can see better
if you're
further
farsighted,
than
I
most.
guess
Most
you
people
can
are nearsighted
buy
if they're
whatever
if
TV
they're
you
wearing
want
glasses or
and it'll
contacts,
be
but I'm
nice.
actually farsighted.
So yeah, I would recommend that for you. But you know, most TVs, especially the smaller, cheaper ones, the
I-
OS is just kind of terrible.
Like LG's WebOS is somewhat good, but that's just because it was developed by
WebOS is
Palm at
fine, but-
first. Samsung Smart TV OS is just a joke at this point. Vizio's SmartCast is a joke. Yes, it is. It's a joke. It has too many ads.
I wouldn't say it's a joke. Not Samsung's.
You just have bad. You have bad internet. That's
I
why you
use-
don't get to see ads.
I use that. Where do all these ads you keep saying come from? Because I barely have any on our TV.
Maybe Samsung's ads require more bandwidth, and maybe you have an older TV.
When you load up YouTube, ads come through just fine through there. In fact, we can get 4K streaming here, to my surprise.
Well, you probably just have an older Samsung.
So we can get
TV.
4K streaming to here, to my surprise. But yeah, I don't know
Tabby
what you
says
guys
that
keep
appears
saying about
when
all
they
these
appear
ads.
on
I
the
don't
cheap
see them.
inputs.
Like, when do you guys?
Yeah, it's like-
Where do you
like-
guys
like
say
a
these
home
ads are
screen
appearing
thing,
from?
it's like an
Where do
ad.
they appear?
It used to be. I haven't had a Samsung TV like that in near 2 years, so I have an old Samsung TV. It's a strip on the bottom, just the strip on the bottom, and my TV was from like.
Is your home screen?
Alright, so Tabby had some stuff to do, so he has left the show. But basically, my QuickTime recording glitched out, so now I have to re-record. But this time I'm just with Alpha and Grant, so I guess we should get
Oh.
guess we should get somewhat towards Do you think? Alright, so let's move on to our next topic, which is that the Apple Vision Pro strap is rumored not to ship with the headset.
Oh.
That's kind of a major
Uh-oh.
deal.
How much are they going to charge for that?
That's like the Is this gonna be a Pro Display XDR type of situation?
That's making me nervous now. How much are they going to charge for that?
It's probably gonna be like
At the very best case scenario is $70.
I think you're being a little too generous.
I mean, they charge $70 for the AirPods ear cushion, Max. Ear
Yeah, this
cushion,
isn't an ear cushion.
But
Well, keep in
that's
mind
why
they
I
charge
say
$1,000 for a monitor stand.
But
I think it'll.
yeah, that's why I'm saying the best case scenario is $70. The worst case scenario is going to be $1,000.
There is no way this is going to go well.
That might lead to Apple Vision Pro failing, like the Pro Display XDR.
Just okay, Apple. We'll find out the hard way whether this is going to work or not. Even though I really think that should be included. It's literally.
All right, there's some other news that if you have to have a custom lens, for example, if you wear glasses, that's also not going to ship.
I mean, that's kind of obvious in my opinion.
Yeah, alright. But there's another big limitation of the Apple Vision Pro that's going to make it not much better than even that's going to make some bigger TVs be more useful than the Apple Vision Pro, which is that the display is limited to a 10 by 10 size, or 1.5 meters, which is about 50 inches. Or no, it's not 50 inches, it's about 60.
Yeah, you can still get bigger TVs. Like my aunt and uncle, they have like a 75-inch in their living room or something.
Yeah, you can get bigger TVs than that. So, again, I know it's spatial computing, but you can still get curved TVs and kind of get that same experience. So, I don't know, honestly. I still don't think it's a big limitation, but I do think it is.
I wonder, what's the largest TV that you could buy?
The largest one I've heard of is 95 inches. Or maybe,
I'd be that
maybe
one to buy it.
98.
Don't know where I'd put it, but I would buy it.
The next bit of news that we have to cover. Yeah, because you're a big stream from that. And the reason why I'm going a bit fast is because, quite frankly, I'm getting hungry, so I might have to. So we'll have to go.
Ooh, yeah, it's
I
9
don't have
o'clock
that
here.
much time
Jeez.
left
Yeah,
on
we better
TIFP.
rapid fire through the next bits.
But all right, so the Apple Card provider may change from Goldman Sachs to American Express, which I didn't already make a video on. But what do you guys think of that?
I'm not too sure because I have yet to still get my hands on the Apple Card. Maybe now that I have credit history, I might be able to.
Personally, I'm not a fan of it since American Express is more focused on gimmicky rewards, while Apple Apple Card is not.
Well, all they're
really
looking
focused
for
on
is just
that.
bank servicing, right? They just need a bank that hold the money. All the perks and all that, that's done by Apple, not American Express.
Yeah, but they might. But but American Express still might make Apple change it as it is their money. Well,
Apple has every ability to decline that, so knowing Apple, they wouldn't give a control like that, would they?
I don't. It's a minor deal, but it's just something to keep in mind. But moving on to the next topic, Twitter. Let's talk about a very controversial thing with Twitter right now. The viewership limits.
What?
So, basically, you can only read a certain amount of posts per day now. Whereas for verified accounts, it's 10,000. For non-verified accounts that have been around for a while, it's 1,000. And for new unverified accounts, it's 500.
Elon, what were you thinking?
Tweets a day. He's doing it to... So, he actually... It has raised them from 300... From, I believe, the initial 600 from unestablished verified accounts like Mine Alphas, but for established verified accounts like Mine Alphas. But the reason why Elon Musk is doing it is to prevent big data miners from being able to read everybody's data on Twitter.
Well, if you own an Android phone, then what's the point?
And Elon Musk did say it's temporary.
If you own an Android phone, then what's the point?
Android phones and iPhones are about.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
They're locked down, but they're not that but they're not as secure as Apple claims.
Yeah, like I picked up my Samsung, and literally 2 weeks later, I get a notification from them saying, "Oh, hey, yeah, we may have hacked your phone and sold your data to a bunch of people that we shouldn't have." I got that notification.
True, but Apple does that too, but they just don't.
Get any notification from
I know
what I remember.
you probably did.
I do get way too many Galaxy Store notifications.
Did Greg get that notification? Because I know you're a Samsung user.
I've been getting so many of their emails lately. It's ridiculous.
You're not even a Samsung user anymore, Apple. Or Alpha. You have your Galaxy S7, but you don't use that thing.
It's powered off right now.
I have a bunch of Samsung phones too. 9 Samsung phones specifically, but I hardly ever use them.
Samsung, you gotta really change what you're doing if you ever want me to come back, because you've abandoned what's made you great a long time ago.
Fine. That's why I made a video about how Samsung screwed up.
Should have noticed with the Note 10.
Samsung screwed up video where I may or may not have copied your skit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do a lot of things.
This is one thing this next topic I really wish Tabby was here for, because this is about something that Meta is doing, and we all enjoy a good piece of Meta news, don't we?
Good things? Nope.
It's probably okay.
Alright, what do you guys think about Instagram threads?
Don't care.
What if I told you that... So, at first glance, I think Instagram threads is stupid, because I think it's just Meta trying to hold a monopoly, because... I mean, Facebook is basically a Twitter competitor. Like, it does all the same things that Twitter does. Not to mention that, and more. Not to mention the fact that Elon Musk is about to launch the X app, which is about to turn Facebook upside down. even though it's already pretty upside down and just an app for old people at this point. Except for my classmates, apparently. But, yeah, however, what if I told you that Instagram Threads was basically a Twitter clone that used where
there's
Meta
most likely
hired
going
a
to
bunch
be a
of
lawsuit
ex-Twitter
or
employees and had them steal classified documents from Twitter to make Instagram Threads. Elon Musk is already tweeting about it. In fact, we're recording this on July 6th just for reference.
That's got to be what that fight's about.
Let me go on Elon.
Yeah, there's gonna be some.
Have you heard that Mark Zuckerberg challenged
see.
Elon Musk to a fight?
Yes, I heard that.
That's got to be what
they're
it's
just
about.
doing it. They're doing that for charity.
That's
not-
What? There's no way it's for
Yeah,
charity.
they're fighting for charity.
Oh my gosh. Not Zuckerberg.
Yeah, they're fighting for charity.
Yeah, feel free to donate all of our personal information to charity, Zuckerberg. You got no problem with that. He's got no problem donating our personal and private information to charity. Yep. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but getting back. Yeah, so. But Elon Musk Twitter is taking action. They're getting ready to sue Meta.
I don't know if this will end very well.
And I'm not sure how that Mark Zuckerberg understands this or not, but this is America. And if you steal something from another company, you will you're gonna get sued no matter what.
Yeah, they need to go.
Wonder how.
This might end in Meta completely collapsing.
I just want them to die at this point. It's time for them to go. Facebook's for
I
old
agree.
people. We all know how bad they are at storing user data and keeping it protected. Despite that, we're just as good as Apple on privacy and such.
Oculus is okay.
Instagram is basically dying at this point. WhatsApp is basically a joke. The Oculus platform is
Gone.
somewhat good, but again, a joke. Yeah, Tabby had an Oculus headset, and it was just okay for him.
Yeah.
I think the metaverse has already been considered to be a failure at this point.
Yep,
Yeah.
Meta has indefinitely shelved it, and they're now hopping on AI. And apparently Instagram Threads.
Yeah, it's time for this company to go.
Yep, and it's time for Mark Zuckerberg to emphasize on his jiu-jitsu career that he seems interested in.
All right, next topic.
My Apple support experience, which I really wish Tabby was here for.
Yeah, that wall of text last week was
So,
something.
It was not that. Yeah, it was something, alright. So, as you may or may not know, we have a puppy named Betty. My family just adopted a puppy named Betty back in March. I'll make a more dedicated video about this. Or we'll probably have already made it by the time this video has released. This will make it tomorrow, but Betty was great at first until she started biting everybody and she started, just not getting into everything and putting slobber all over everything, including my own pants one day before school.
Ooh, yikes. Yikes.
I think I saw the community post on that.
Yeah. Yeah, and she also somehow she managed to get a hold of my old AirPods case. And I don't know how well you guys can see the damage on camera.
Oh, it's completely
but
pixelated.
This case no longer works. This case is basically refusing to connect now. And it refuses to close fully. So so it happened last Thursday. So I talked to Apple support about it, and first contacted them on Twitter, and they first said, "Oh, well, I don't know what to do about that." And the first guy was like, "No, I don't know what to do about that." Actually, I have the Twitter conversation pulled up.
Yeah, you did.
Like, didn't even know to offer a
Just
new
need to
case
go-
or something?
I'll share my screen. I'll get to that. Alright, so going on to Twitter, into my DMs.
Mhm.
So this was the first DM, which I said my puppy chewed the case of my AirPods Pro 2 to where the rear button is no longer functional. I have a warranty on it and I'm located in the U.S. And then they just got the automatic response, which is thanks for reaching out. Our team will review your message as soon as possible.
Mhm.
Yada yada yada. Go on there. And then she said, we'd be happy to help explore your options, so we can check on your warranty status. Maybe have your serial number. And then I sent it. And they said, we appreciate your time and thank you for partnering up with us. After reviewing this, there's no Apple Care register. This being you'll have to pay because so AirPods is being said you'll have to pay the warranty damage fee since the damage is accidental. Oh my! And we'll review checking this link for information, which is just public information, but. This drives me insane. This was accidental damage. This was not done on purpose. And then Apple is still claiming me responsible for something that my Betty, who has a mind of her own, could do. This is nuts. This is immoral, Apple. There's no proof of it, but it's still immoral.
It's not what warranties are designed to cover.
Accidents.
Yes, it is. Warranties are designed to cover accidents.
No, that's what insurance is for. Insurance are designed to cover accidents.
I don't have insurance. Warranties are like insurance, though.
They cover screw-ups caused by Apple's part. Insurance is what covers accidents or under your ownership. But no, that's not what the warranty is for. Warranty does not equal insurance.
Well, either way, they still had to pay for something which broke anyway, because apparently AirPods should be designed to withstand dogs.
That's not their problem. That's not their fault.
It's sort of on their part.
What they shipped out
That's still unfair.
I don't see why Apple should have covered this. Because they're not responsible for any of this.
They should have, because it wasn't my... It wasn't me who brought Betty home, and these are my AirPods. It wasn't me who decided to get Betty in the first place, and it wasn't me who intentionally left my AirPods in the reach of Betty.
Well, it wasn't Apple either.
In fact, I don't even know if I put them in the reach of Betty. Yeah, it wasn't Apple, but they should still pay for it since you pay for a warranty.
Warranties don't cover that. That's not what they're designed to cover.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
No.
But that's not.
No warranty has ever covered anything like this. This example is like somebody hits my brand new car and GM should cover it under warranty. No, they're not going to.
Yeah,
no,
they should.
They're not going to because that's not how
Because
a warranty works. That is what insurance handles. That is what insurance covers.
But insurance is stupid. I don't want to. Yes, but you should automatically have Apple pay for all your mishaps if they're not warranted. But getting back on, it still isn't the most fair. But
no, it's totally fair.
Unfair. So getting back sharing my alpha. It's unfair, and that's
No, it is completely fair, actually.
the gig.
You can ask anybody else aside from
But
me.
they said,
They're going to
no,
say
it
this is
doesn't
totally
cover
fair.
I think.
Okay, getting back on topic.
Like, what are your thoughts on this, Grant?
Yeah, somebody commented on my
be
YouTube
covered by
community.
default, and there should be no
Like,
need for a
what's your thoughts on this,
warranty. We
Grant?
are providing a warranty that should cover accidental damage.
Yeah,
They can
see?
option it to have that, but they're not required to cover accidental damage. Some do. Apple's doesn't. They have the right to decide whether they cover accidental damage like that. And while their warranty doesn't, they
do,
even
but it's
offer
still unfair,
insurance.
Okay, getting back on topic here, I asked them, okay, how much will a repair cost? And how much will a new case cost? And they're like, you can get an estimate here. Like, they shared the same freaking link. And so then I had to, and so basically they just responded with the same freaking link. So I then had to call Apple support, which they just asked me to send a verification link to my other Apple devices, which somehow they could do from my phone number, I guess, through my Apple ID. D's being associated with my phone number, so they did that, and then after a couple of calls, I had to get my debit card activated. I was able to get my call. I was able to get the order my replacement AirPods case, which cost $115, but now my AirPods Pro 2 are working just fine again. And so overall, even though it wasn't that great at first, it is in the shipped in the package. That's like when you send AirPods in Apple, but now it's all taken care of, and now I have working AirPods Pro 2 again, so I don't have to downgrade back could stop using my AirPods 2.
Yeah, that was an interesting story. Just like how I had to do signature required on my iPad. What were they think? They can ship me a $2,600 laptop. No signature required. But no, a $500 iPad or something like that. No, you gotta sign for this thing.
$600.
You gotta sign for this thing, even though it's like a fifth the price of your laptop.
I don't know, man. Is it from? No, your MacBook was shipped through FedEx
Yep.
too, huh? I don't know what's going on.
I called Apple, tried to get it to change it. I've gone back and forth between Apple and FedEx, and they're like, no, you're basically screwed. So, thankfully, I got somebody else to be able to sign for it, but let's pretend I'm single. I live in my own house. What would happen if I was, like most people should be, are away at work during the middle of the day, and yet a package is showing up to your house that's signature required? Oh, and the nearest FedEx center is 2 hours away.
I guess you would have to take a day off of work just to sign the freaking package.
Yeah, I'm sorry, there's nothing right about that. To expect somebody to be at the door like that when it's the middle of the day, people are working, and yes, I know working at home is a thing, but you don't know if the recipient of this package works at home. Delivery drivers don't work at home, I promise you that. You should know that. So, to me, that's just bonkers. They assumed that signature required was okay. They didn't even bother asking me.
I don't know, man. That's weird. I don't know, Alpha. That's weird.
That is not okay. Like, the warranty thing makes sense, but just mandatory signature required without even checking with the recipient to see if they're available in the first place or if they can make something work like that. That's not okay, because that could potentially lead to someone not even getting their package ever.
That is a very stupid point, but that's a very good point.
So
That's a stupid
around
thing
Yeah.
about it.
like
Getting back onto our last
2021.
podcast topic before we close this
my
episode
first
off.
interest and
What-
the reason I started
Grant,
YouTube
how'd you get
was
interested in technology?
Legos. So what happened is I was at an estate sale, and my mom told me we can all get something for like under $10 or whatever. And I was looking all throughout the house. We were at the register, and then I saw a iPhone 3GS for $3. And yeah, and then you can see, like, believe I posted like a short of it then, where it
Whoa,
was,
that's a
like,
good deal.
had the power
That is a very good
it
deal.
was charging, and it did end up breaking though, so I don't have that anymore. I wish it didn't break because the iPhone 3GS is more expensive than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be like $30. Yeah. I remember filming fireworks with it. I don't know why I did.
Yeah, that's like 12 of the $3 is a 12th of what they normally go for on eBay.
Yes. I just started watching stuff and got more interested.
Was that the first iPhone with video recording capability?
Yep.
Hmm.
Alright, that's an interesting story. I, of course, have been interested in tech my whole life when I got my iPad 1 back in 2011. Or my old iPad 1, I don't have that anymore. I wish I kept that around just because that's a very important thing in my life. That's one of the most important things I've ever had in my life. So, are you guys ready to end the show now?
Yep.
Alright. As always,
My
thank
name
you
is Grant
all
Eby
for
from
watching
Kinda
another
Average Tech.
episode of the iTunes Family Podcast. As always, I'm your host, the main host, the iTunes Teddy Maggart from the iTunes Fanboy.
My name is Alpha Wolf from the Random Alpha.
And as always, we're saying goodbye for now, and we will be back the next time we have an episode. The next time it will probably be without Alpha.
Yep, most likely not. I'll be on vacation having fun.
But as always, thank you all for watching, and as always, peace out and goodbye, guys.
See ya.